Provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rawlins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Perez Collision Center is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks and Albuquerque Boxing. Perez Collision Center offers expert knowledge on any of your auto body and paint needs. Give them a call today, 505-254-4655, or stop by for a visit at 2415 2nd Street Northwest in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Perez Collision Center.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Summer vacation has been extended for us here at Red Menace TV. It's still a Cage Minds takeover. I'm Micah Frankel. That means this is the place where we talk about people getting punched in the face. A lot going on in the world of combat sports. A busy week last week, and I got a ton of stuff to talk about with you guys this week. So as soon as Alden's ready, we're going to roll some highlights, a lot of action from this past weekend. Boxing, MMA, bare knuckle boxing. Start off in the PFL. It was the final event of the regular season. The playoffs are set. Alice Nicholson, a big first round finish, sneaking into the heavyweight playoffs. You had Emilio Sordi. He is the #1 ranked lightweight. Second finish, there was a violent first round TKO of Bivat Avatov, who comes in as the #2 seed in the playoffs. Getting into the playoffs with the desperate need for points, a first round armbar submission for Vinny Magalesh, taking out Rakeem Cleveland. And then in the main event, you saw Jared Roshaw back against the wall, contemplating retirement. He makes his way into the playoffs with a unanimous decision win over Satoshi Isho. Here we go. A real quick look for you at the playoff brackets. Women's lightweight bracket, Sarah Kaufman there, the former Strikeforce champion, former Invicta champion, UFC vet, is our #1 seed. Kayla Harrison comes in as the #2 seed, the Olympian. We go to the men's 145-pound bracket. The #1 seed is last year's champion, Lance the Party Palmer. Coming in at #4, and Alex Gilpin, who really impressed throughout the entire tournament. He has a harsh first-round matchup with former champion of the WSOF and of the CES. We're talking about Harrison. Go over to the men's lightweight bracket. He won the tournament last year, and he's the #1 seed again. Brazil's Natan Schultz there. He's going to be taking on Remy Nijam, a UFC vet. And don't forget, a ton of tough Russian wrestlers clearing out the full bracket there for 155 pounds. The American matchup, Chris Wade versus Nate Andrews. Go over to 200. Yeah, this is the 205-pound bracket, I believe, that I put right here. We have Emilio Sordi and Pinilli talking at the 1-8 matchup. As we said, Magalesh, that first round submission got him in. UFC vet Jordan Johnson is there at the 7 seed. Snuck in with a unanimous decision victory. $1 million on the line for the winners. Here we go is a quick look going back in division to the welterweights. Franca getting the #1 seed. Last year's top story, Ray Cooper coming in at #6. Last year's winner, Karamed Magomedov, is there at the #2 seed. And Chris Curtis, the former CES champion, coming in at #7. Rounding out our graphic, we take a look at the heavyweights. He did lose, but Satoshi Isho did still get in there at the #8 seed. Mama's boy, Kelvin Tiller, a great grappler there at #4, even coming off the loss to Gashmadov, who comes in at #1. Roshat snuck in with the decision win at #7. Again, $1 million on the line in each one of these tournaments. Who will be the 2019 PFL champions? UFC Fight Pass had action on Friday night. It was Invicta, FC 36. Emily Ducote, a first-round TKO to get back in the win column. The Bellator vet making a big impact in her Invicta FC debut. And then in the main event, it was a battle for the vacant featherweight title. Pam Sorensen, she showed off her striking against Caitlin Young. She takes it to the ground. She shows off dominance. All three judges saw it unanimously in favor of Pam Bam Bam Sorensen, your new Invicta FC Women's Featherweight Champion. Taking a look, we had a Top Rank Boxing on ESPN+. Right to the main event, Jason Sosa improves to 23-3-4, defeating Haskell Lytle Rhodes by TKO. He falls to 27-4-1. On the zone, you also had boxing action. Jump up to the main event. Virgil Ortiz defeats Antonio Orozco by TKO. Ortiz remains undefeated. Orozco suffering the second defeat of his professional career. The UFC entered a new market, went over to Uruguay, South America. Former title challenger Volkan Oezdemir gets back in the win column with a TKO victory of Alair Latifi, taking advantage of the height disparity, the reach advantage that Oezdemir possessed. Was able to tee off on Latifi, getting the late round stoppage. A big win for Oezdemir to get his name back into notoriety. John Jones needs contenders. There's a ton of guys like Johnny Walker coming up. Big win for Oezdemir. Go to the co-main event. The worst broken nose I've ever seen, suffered by Mike Perry, and he would not quit. Vicente Luque literally moved Mike Perry's nose a good 1.5 inches over on the side of his face with a flying knee, and Platinum would not quit, would not submit to the guillotine choke, would fight all 3 rounds, and in the end, a split decision for Vicente Luque, one of the third longest winning streak in the men's welterweight division. In the main event, Valentina Shevchenko keeps sharpening those weapons, ultra violent, ultra destructive. 2 knockdowns, vicious leg kicks, took the fight to the ground. What am I trying to tell you? I'm trying to explain domination. Liz Carmouche was no match for the Bullet. Valentina retains her title by unanimous decision easily. Bare knuckle boxing was free on YouTube and Fight TV. UFC vet Chase Sherman is the new Bare Knuckle FC heavyweight champion, and surprisingly, he wins the fight by unanimous decision, something you don't hear often in bare knuckle boxing. In the main event, Jim Allers got inside, got the single collar tie, his left hand behind the head of Leonard Garcia. It's legal. Right-handed uppercuts to the finish, scoring 4 knockdowns. It was violent. Last night, Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, Invicta FC Bantamweight champion Sarah Alpar, CES Bantamweight champion Tony Gravely, among 3 competitors to attain UFC contracts last night. A lot of stuff going on there this past weekend. What's next for Valentina Shevchenko? She is the reigning, defending, baddest woman at 125 pounds right now in mixed martial arts. There are women like Caitlin Chukagian, there's Jennifer Maia, Andrea Lee, Joanna Calderwood, still ranked in the top 6 that have not yet danced with Valentina. Shevchenko does have her eyes on the super fight. It's what a lot of fighters want now. It's that going for the pot of gold on the end of the rainbow. You want that big fight. And for Shevchenko, any competitor doesn't accept defeat. Shevchenko wants another opportunity at Amanda Nunes. And as she's being dominant here at 125 pounds, Nunes is being dominant in 2 different weight classes, 145 and 135. We saw the fights play out very closely, but you saw the distinct power advantage for Nunes and her ability to push forward, nullifying some of those counter-striking skills that Shevchenko possesses. I'd still rather see Shevchenko right now continue to try to clear out the division, a division that the UFC is actively filling up through the Contender Series and other avenues. The 125 pounds women division is a blooming, blossoming great division for the UFC. Even announced recently this week, the next Phoenix Rising 1 card from Invicta, the one-night tournaments, will be a women's flyweight tournament. If you remember, Phoenix Rising 1 winner from the strawweight tournament, Brianna Van Buren, was immediately picked up by the UFC, elevated up. So we wonder what happens at Phoenix Rising 2 for the flyweight competitors. My guess is that we're going to see someone elevated to the UFC very quickly. I love what they're doing there with the flyweights. Vicente Luque, obviously needs a top 15 opponent. He needs somebody with a number next to his name. A huge win streak there at 170 pounds, the deepest division that the UFC has right now. 145, 155, 170, just spectacularly entertaining. Luque deserves a big fight. I also mentioned there was bare knuckle boxing. Jim Allers destroyed Leonard Garcia, and honestly, that was one of those fights that, if you're a naysayer of bare knuckle boxing, you saw the violent side of it come out. You saw, oh my gosh, that was kind of hard to watch. On the flip side, the heavyweights, Arnold Allen, Chase Sherman, it was a beautiful matchup. It was dynamic. You saw feints, fakes, you saw parries, you saw not really the brawling, but you saw the technical side of boxing displayed in bare knuckle boxing. It was very elegant. So you saw both sides of the bare knuckle game when you saw For Free there on Saturday night. Also on that card, our very own Isaac Valley Flag got back in the win column, 2nd time in a row inside that bare knuckle squared circle that is victorious. This time it was a bittersweet victory as Melvin Gillard, his friend and former training partner who is fighting, broke his hand and had to quit after the third round. Valley Flag still gets the victory, but not in the manner he'd want. Hopefully, sooner or later, we'll get him back on set to talk about that fight. So you had your opportunity. You can go back and still watch it on YouTube. If you're interested in bare knuckle boxing, go check out Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships on YouTube. You can check out that event still for free. A lot of stuff last weekend. That leads us into what's happening this weekend, because we've got to talk about it here locally first. The local scene is kicking off the action for this weekend. Saturday night, Embassy Suites, our guest from last week, is in the ring. Fidel Maldonado, the Atrisco kid, he's 26-4, 19 knockouts, two in a row by decision. He's won 5 of his last 6. He's taking on Juan Santiago, 16-2 from Denver, Colorado. It's going to be an 8-rounder. Co-main event, Leanna Martinez from Espanola, New Mexico, 4-1, looks to rebound from her first career loss. You also have Donald Sanchez on that card. The following weekend, right here on ProView Networks, Legacy Boxing Promotions, Reigning Thunder up at Buffalo Thunder. Joaquin Zamora, Santa Fe's own, in the main event against Ernesto Barispo. You also have Joe Gomez Martinez and Arturo Crispin in the co-main event. Unbeaten Aaron Angel Baby Perez is on the card. Not to mention Amy Salinas and Samantha Salazar battle for a ABF Super Flyweight title. Following weekend, Las Cruces American Fight League presents Southwest Brawl 10. The main event has Manuel Otero and Randy McCarty battling for the inaugural American Fight League heavyweight title. Also on the card, returning to the cage, first time in 6 years. We have an interview up with him on the website, cageminds.com. Check out Through Hell and Back to the Cage with Joe Torres. September 28th, there's a doubleheader of events. Southwest MMA Series 29 at Buffalo Thunder Resort and Casino. Same night, Clovis, New Mexico, Force of One FC number 6. So a lot going on the local scene. As far as what's coming up this week on the national scene, we'll talk about that when we get back from this first break.
Kabaka fighting forward with the right hand, a left and then a right, and this one. By Sanchez and right back on a right hand. They'll exchange it. Good combination now for Pitbull. There's. And then now Torres says, let's go. He says, come get me. And the crowd will boo. And now, fight of this, hasn't he? Oh. There's a great combination. And now I think you're seeing this. Here, a minute to go in round 1. And then a right hand. You see Ramirez switch. Well, there's a good answer right back. That's a great combination for Griego to end it. Combination. Nice left. Third round. 2 minutes to go in round 3. Benavides puts Ramirez down. A shot to.
Gentlemen, your winner, the Pitbull, Josh Morris, ladies and gentlemen.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rawlins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Perez Collision Center is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks and Albuquerque Boxing. Perez Collision Center offers expert knowledge on any of your auto body and paint needs. Give them a call today, 505-254-4655, or stop by for a visit at 2415 2nd Street Northwest in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Perez Collision Center.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of ProView Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Welcome back. Start you guys off with a little bit of news. If you hadn't already read on the website, Holly Holm will be back in the Octagon October 5th, UFC 243 in Australia, a rematch against the first woman she defeated when she made her UFC debut. That was a split decision victory over Raquel Pennington. The former title holder will meet the former title challenger in a rematch. That's big news. Also on the news front this weekend, we saw that it was made official that Michelle Waterson and Joanna Jędrzejczyk will battle UFC Fight Night. They're going to be in the main event. That fight had been rumored to be taking place at Oracle Arena in San Francisco. That couldn't have been further from the truth. All the way across country is where we go. The fight is set for October 16th in Tampa Bay, Florida. So just a little bit different than what was speculated, just a little bit. Not to mention Andreas the Bullet Quintana, don't forget he's still expected and scheduled to be fighting for the Combate Americas inaugural featherweight championship here coming up at Lake Tahoe, August 24th, I believe. I say could be because you don't know what's going on with Combate Americas. Good for them that they've had the Fresno event after having canceled 2 events in a row. Supposedly they're now talking about going to Chicago. Catching you guys up on Combates America. Also this weekend, ESPN Plus, very own locally from Rio Rancho, Brian Mendoza is going to be on the top-ranked card, 17-0 welterweight, looking to continue his climb towards contendership. Cody East, former King of the Cage champion, former Legacy FC champion, a veteran of the UFC. We saw him pick up the kickboxing Muay Thai victory at Lion Fights back in April here at the Route 66 Legends Theater. He is out in Sochi, Russia, to fight Alexander Maslov, S70 Platform Cup 2019. That fight, as far as from what I saw on Facebook with the weigh-in photos yesterday, should be taking place sometime today. Check the Cage Mind social media, as we'll try to get you up, keep you up to date on what's going on with the freight train. And then yesterday, the rumors really started to spring forward. The night before, Landon Venata posted on social media that he had signed a contract and his next UFC bout had been confirmed or was going to be established. Still not confirmed for the promotion, but many sources on the internet have alluded that the Groovy King will be taking on the Mohawk-wearing Mark DeCasey UFC Fight Night, Denmark, Copenhagen. That fight just around the corner. Go to the website for more details. Now we'll move on to the slideshow. I think it's time to talk about what you can watch this weekend on the national scene. Start off tomorrow night, Absolute Muay Thai 36 on UFC Fight Pass, continuing the chance for the Lapini Cup. Friday, one championship, Dreams of Gold. Cuban Olympian Gustavo Ballart makes his promotional debut. You'll also see in action LFA and Tough Vet Thon Lee. One Super Series Muay Thai and kickboxing champion Stamp Fairtalks will go into her second MMA bout. The co-main event is a kickboxing bout, Georgie Petrosian versus Joe Naniwat. And you also have World Muay Thai title at 135 pounds in the main event. Friday on UFC Fight Pass is a 14-fight card on CFFC welterweight title. Joey Pitora defending against Jermaine Wells is the main event. Friday after the MMA, tune in for Team Grappling on Fight Pass. You saw Rafion Stotts is going to be going against Anthony Burchak. You have teams led by Anthony Lionheart Smith, Chow Sutton, Chris Lytle, Craig Jones. It's Team Grappling Kennett 1 Championship. Check that out on UFC Fight Pass. Saturday, Springfield, Massachusetts, UFC Fight Pass, Murphy Boxing, unbeaten 18-0. Charles Foster faces Denis Gashov, who's 19-7-1. Then you move over on Saturday, and you're able to check out boxing on ESPN. From LA, it's a title fight. You have Emmanuel Navarrete, 27-1, 23 knockouts, versus Francisco de Vaga, who's 20-0, 6 knockouts. It's a 12-rounder for Navarrete's WBO junior featherweight title. Slideshow got ahead of me, but we got some time now. UFC 241, the big show for me on Saturday night from Anaheim, California, the Honda Center. The rematch in the main event, Daniel Cormier defends the heavyweight title against Stipe Miocic. To freshen you up on Cormier, he's 22-1, 10 knockouts, 5 submissions. Technically, if you don't count what happened with the John Jones no contest, he's on a 7-fight win streak. Miocic, 14 knockouts of his 18-3 record, and 3 successful title defenses of the heavyweight title, a record number. DC won the first fight by knockout, catching Miocic with a punch on the inside from a single collar tie. Has Miocic shored up his defense? Will he be able to outbox and outmaneuver the smaller, heavier opponent, as I expected he was going to be able to the first time out? The co-main event ending a 3-year absence from the octagon. Nate Diaz, 19-11, 5 knockouts, 11 submissions. We haven't seen him since the Conor McGregor rematch. Faces former lightweight champion Anthony Time Pettis, 22-8, 11 knockouts, 7 submissions. Showtime coming off of the Superman punch knockout of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. People wondered, was Showtime washed up? Was he in the decline? That knockout put him back on the map. a title shot could be looming or title contention for the winner of that fight, they'll jump into the mix that quick with the kind of name right that they have. In the feature fight position, it's a big one in the middleweight division. They don't like each other much, and they've established that very well. Number 2 ranked middleweight Yoel Romero, 13-3, hasn't fought in a year and missed weight his last 2 fights. He has 11 wins by knockout, though, those 13. Takes on number 7 ranked undefeated young Brazilian Paulo Costa. Costa is 12-0 with 11 knockouts and 1 submission, 9 victories in the first round. They both look like genetically jacked freaks. They've both been accused of certain things that have never been proved. Talking about those physiques again, they are 2 monsters that don't like each other. It's going to be an explosive fight. Somebody gets knocked out there. Clay Collard was expected to fight Devontae Smith in the featured prelim of the night. That one has been moved over. Smith has now received his 3rd opponent. It's a 6-fight win streak for Smith, 5 of the 6 by knockout. Look for him to put on a big show. The pay-per-view, I skipped over this one, it gets kicked off by a top 10 middleweight matchup. Number 8, Derek Brunson, who's 19-7, 11 knockouts, 3 submissions. All 14 of his finishes are in the first round. He's explosive early, or he relies on his wrestling to out-grapple foes. He takes on number 10 ranked Ian the Hurricane Heinrich, the former LFA middleweight champion, who's 13-1, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions, 5 finishes in the first round to equal his 5-fight win streak. We're going to have moving and shaking at the middleweight. It's pivotal for the heavyweights. We got welterweight action, and you got a ton more prospects on the prelims. Can't forget to mention Jody Escobar, 6-5 from Jackson Winks, the former boxing title holder, taking on Hannah Cipher, who was 9-3. Cipher's last year did defeat Escobar's teammate Selena Haga here at Isleta. So revenge factor and a big-time matchup where both ladies like to slug it out. Also got a highlight in the bantamweight division. Another top 10 matchup on this card. Card is stacked. Number 9 ranked Corey Sandhagen on a 6-fight win streak. He's 11-1 overall, has 4 wins by knockout. He faces the number 3 ranked Rafael Asuncao. Asuncao is 27-6. He's won 4 of his last 5. He has 10 knockouts, 4 submissions. The Brazilian is easily the most underrated fighter on the UFC roster. Asuncao has a plethora of skills and really is not given the opportunity to shine. You can see where he's placed on this card. It's kind of low down there for this being a top 10 matchup. The opportunity for Sandhagen to jump into title contention is right there. The UFC looking to build up the challengers for Henry Cejudo, who is healing a shoulder injury and needs to get back to be able to defend his 125 and 135 titles. Move on from that UFC card. Later that night, almost to the next morning, Fight TV has Ryzen 18. Names you'll recognize on that Japanese card. UFC vets, flyweights, Justin Scoggins and Jared Brooks are both in action. Bantamweight Takeya Mizuzaki, always a fight of the night type competitor. Kickboxing legend John Wayne Parr, who you've seen in Bellator kickboxing and in Lion fights, not to mention Ayaka Yamasaka and Bellator Ryzen champion Koji Haraguchi in the main event. We have more grappling on Sunday to check out, and next week's Dana White's Contender Series on ESPN Plus will feature a pair of fighters from the Jackson Wink Academy, Nicole DeSeni, who you saw a clip from the interview with her last week, and Steve Mean Machine Garcia, both getting their opportunities next week on the Contender Series to impress Dana White. So one more time, this weekend, Ryzen, Koji Haraguchi, he is the Bellator and Ryzen Bantamweight champion. That is huge. Cormier Miocic, the heavyweight title. That is huge. It's a big weekend of action coming up, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun checking it out. Not so much boxing. Boxing taking a little bit of the weekend off, except for that local card. So you either watch the pay-per-view, you go to the local card, but it's a big weekend to watch combat sports with football season still a little bit out. I mean, the prelims are just the prelims. Still watch a fight. We'll be back to talk about more fights in just a moment.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog! Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club, or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rawlins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Perez Collision Center is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks and Albuquerque Boxing. Perez Collision Center offers expert knowledge on any of your auto body and paint needs. Give them a call today, 505-254-4655, or stop by for a visit at 2415 2nd Street Northwest in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Perez Collision Center.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Welcome back. Fight week, UFC 241. I mean, I know there's local boxing coming up this weekend, but I couldn't be more psyched for this stacked MMA card. I mean, honestly, I didn't even get all the way through talking about all of it. I didn't get to mention Sadiq Youssef versus Gabriel Benitez. It's on the main card. That is a fantastic fight at featherweight. You got Mexico versus Nigeria. 2 phenomenal strikers in that one. Unbeaten Manny Bermudez taking on the former 2-division LFA champion Casey Kenny. Ultra tough grappler. You got Christian Yagos, a great kickboxer, versus Dakar Close. Brandon Davis, Mississippi Tough, taking on South Korea's Kung Ho Kang, who has 11 of his 15 victories by submission. Also head kick queen from Colombia, former LFA women's flyweight champion Sabina Mazo, taking on Tough 26 alum Shanna Dobson. All of that, including, like I said on the prelims, our very own Jody Escabel from Jackson Winks taking on Hannah Cyphers. That's a big one. And right now, I caught up with Jody earlier in the week at Jackson Wink, and I want to play a clip of that interview for you guys.
Jody Escabel, thank you for the time. We're going to see you back in action here at UFC 241. How you feeling? How's camp been going?
I feel good. I feel like I had just the right amount of time off, and camp's been great. We have a bunch of people here from across the world in camp right now, good female team, and yeah, I'm ready.
3 tough fights to start out your UFC career, and I mean, Angela Hill, it's an interesting matchup. Same thing with Carolina.
Yeah.
Got 2 of the tougher strikers you could face. What have you learned from these first 3 fights? Not to mention Jessica Alba. I mean, these have been some amazing dream matchups.
Yeah, that's good. It's great. You know, I've learned a lot. I feel like I've had a tough go, honestly, but that's cool. Like, I'm in a better place now because of it, and it's made me a better fighter, and I've found out a lot about myself through those fights, and it's great. Like, I'm very thankful for the road that I've been given, so it's cool.
And now we head into this fight, Hannah Cyphers. What do you think of the matchup? What do you think about her? We saw her even out here locally. She fought with a training partner, Celine Hagen, here at the Jackson Fight Night in 2018. So I've been up close look at her. We've seen her striking. Good at that. What do you think of the matchup?
Yeah, I think it's a great matchup. I think that I've always wanted somebody that was going to stand in front of me. You know, like I felt like I was chasing the other opponents down, and Hannah's definitely one to stand and bang. And so I feel like it's going to be a great fight, and she's super strong. It's a great matchup for me.
How much do you feel your footwork is going to play a factor in this fight? I feel like you have a dynamic advantage.
Yeah, no question. You can't just, I mean, that's years and years and years and years of training footwork, and I'm confident in my footwork, and you're right about that. I think that my footwork alone can beat the fight. However, like, I know that my striking can beat the fight. I know my wrestling can. I know my jiu-jitsu can. I know all that. However, hands down, my footwork and my athleticism, day and night. Yeah, no question.
What have been some of the bigger glaring opportunities you've seen preparing for this fight and facing him?
You know, I've never been super big about, yeah, we study and whatever, but it's more about making myself better. Better than the time I just fought Hill, and what can I change and be better in myself. And there were some big things I needed to change, so I did that. And I think changes in myself will exploit what she brings to the table. Bringing my... You know, I've never been super big about, yeah, we study and whatever, but it's more about making myself better. Better than the time I just fought Hill, and what can I change and be better in myself. And there were some big things I needed to change, so I did that. And I think changes in myself will exploit what she brings to the table. Bringing my best self is a bad night for her, for sure.
It's been 3 hard fights inside of the octagon to kick off her UFC career. But Jody Escabel is a warrior, and she's not done writing her story. Also, we're not done with that interview. To check it out in its entirety, go to CageMinds.com, go to the YouTube page, Cage Minds MMA Show, and you can see that in its entirety. If you also go over to the social media, you're on Facebook, Cage Minds Combat Sports News, hit the like button. We also got a couple interviews up, pugilism and the Hollywood Lights, as Hollywood Ray talks to our guest last week, Fidel. his own little spin on the interview. Donald Sanchez and Santi Giron ahead of Saturday night's Holmes Boxing. Warriors collides at Embassy Suites. Doors at 6:30. The first fight at 7:30. Now, again, we just heard from Jody Escobar. Going to be in action at UFC 241. That main event. Let's talk about those implications real quick. I don't think I hit on that point yet. Daniel Cormier has some big aspirations. He wanted to fight Brock Lesnar. That didn't seem to come to fruition. Brock Lesnar, for those of you that are in the pro wrestling world also, just dropped the Universal title to Seth Rollins on Sunday night at SummerSlam. Could the Beast Incarnate be heading back towards the Octagon, or could he be ringside once again to watch the heavyweight title? I mean, he was there the first time they fought. Maybe he just likes to watch a good fight, once a fan of the sport, once a competitor of the sport. Maybe Brock will be there. Maybe it leads to more rumors. Always strategically placed when he wins or loses inside of the WWE. What does that mean for DC? DC could possibly still have that dream of facing Brock Lesnar. He beats Stipe Miocic, and the much likelier reality is the trilogy fight, getting that third encounter with his hated rival, yes, John Bones Jones. Now, the flip side, what if Miocic becomes a two-time champion? What if the Clevelander from Croatia is able to again be atop the heavyweight mountain? I would then predict a rematch for Miocic with Francis Ngannou. Maybe he calls out John Jones in the thought of a super fight. But for Daniel Cormier, the most likely avenue to travel down if he loses Saturday night would be the road to retirement. He can say farewell to the sport in his home state of California, where he now resides, where he has a high school wrestling job. I think that would be the best solution for Daniel Cormier. Also, if you watch the very great put-together segment on SportsCenter this past Sunday about the trials and tribulations that Daniel Cormier has been through in his life, and also perpetually finishing in second place, I think that a loss would be mentally devastating and something he would not be able to rebound from on Saturday night. So definitely tune in, because it could be the last time we saw who Fabricio Verdum said is the greatest heavyweight of all time. Yes, look at it. Unbeaten and won the Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix. It could be the end of an era that we maybe didn't pay enough attention to on Saturday night. Jump forward after Saturday and Tuesday, you do have Dana White's Contender Series. And as I mentioned, we have Nicole DeSeni from JW and Steve Mean Machine Garcia, the Bellator vet who won his last two fights right here at Isleta. I was there cage side, the bloodiest affair I've ever seen live, when his elbows cut up Abel Cullum. The Mean Machine, recently married, now has the biggest opportunity of his career. The opportunities looked for 12 years, the chance to impress Dana White and get a UFC contract. Also caught up with him at the gym this week. And Alden, if we can play some of that interview, let's go to that. With Steve Mean Machine Garcia.
Joined by the Mean Machine, Steve Garcia, and your Contender Series bound. Big opportunity that I know you've been looking for. How excited are you?
I'm excited, man. I'm more, determined more than anything, but excited is a good way to explain it, I guess. It's been about 12 years in the making, so I've been waiting about 12 years to get to this point.
Joined by the Mean Machine, Steve Garcia, and your Contender Series bound. Big opportunity that I know you've been looking for. How excited are you?
I'm excited, man. I'm more, determined more than anything, but excited is a good way to explain it, I guess. It's been about 12 years in the making, so I've been waiting about 12 years to get to this point. I'm definitely going to take full advantage of it and, go from there and hopefully get a contract and, make waves in the UFC. That'd be great.
Why is this the right time?
I don't know if it's the right time. There's never really a right time, you know what I mean? Everybody's like, oh, this is the right time. I was like, it happens when it's presented to you. You just got to jump on it, The opportunity presents itself. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to give it everything I have and, go from there.
For you as a martial artist, do you feel like this is the right time for this kind of opportunity, this kind of challenge?
I'd hope so, but as a mixed martial artist, you always have that I don't know, the mindset that I'm ready at any time. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter. It could have happened 2 years ago, could have happened, a year from now. I'm just happy it's sooner than later, and it's right now. So this is the cards that I'm dealt, and I'm going to play them best I can.
Talk to me about what you've done in these last 2 fights, big victories at Isleta. How have you grown in those fights, and how's that momentum for you?
I almost kind of feel like I needed those fights. Those fights were huge for me, especially because I really got to just develop a little bit more in my game. I had to change my style a little bit, and worked with Coach Rink, worked with Greg, multiple times throughout the week, every single week for that whole entire fight camp on both cards, and man, it obviously paid off. We went in there, we stuck to the game plan. It was so nice being able to listen to every command given, and I just executed the way I was supposed to.
How much were these adjustments mental, physical, to preparation to fight?
It's hard. It's hard because honestly, you think that you're good enough to go no matter what, but really, you have your good days and your bad days in this gym. But honestly, when you start changing things to better your let's say your attributes and your body style and stuff like that, I had to make them accordingly, and it took me a little while to adjust. I had to do a lot of reps, and I had to do a lot of changing, work on a lot of wrestling, work on a lot of different things, and I want to say this paid off. I got to work a lot of my ground and pound, and a lot of that showed off.
We know that you're somebody that really embraces the warrior mentality aspect of mixed martial arts. How much does that come into play with taking on a guy that comes from Venezuela and your opponent, Alberto Montes, African Bates? Not a huge amount of video and not a huge camp for you. How much do you embrace the warrior mentality in taking on this opportunity?
It honestly just doesn't matter. He could have been 20-0, 30-0. It doesn't matter because this is my opportunity. I'm going to have to hop on it, and I'm going to have to do the best I can. And with the time given, it was a little bit shorter notice, but it's, it is what it is. I got married, I want to say 2 weeks prior to the phone call, so I was getting out of that mode, coming into this mode, and I'm training all the time, but I was helping my guys out more than I was focusing on myself. So, now I'm able to go back into camp, do work, and train to, train to kill.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen? No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club, or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Man, I feel like today has just flown by. You heard from Jody Escobar, Steve Garcia. Let's give our local fighters some support. Like I said, if you're interested in boxing, definitely give the local fighters some support this weekend. Embassy Suites Saturday night. Join me Friday, 2 p.m. at the Ramada. They're on University and Manal for the open to the public weigh-ins. Again, it's Holmes Boxing. Warriors collide Saturday night. In some UFC news, Caitlin Chikagian versus Jennifer Maia, a potential women's flyweight #1 contender bout, has been set for Madison Square Garden UFC 244, which is speculated to be main evented by the return of John Bones Jones. Also looking at some UFC news, heavyweight news. Alistair Overeem, Walt Harris, a surefire knockout, is going to main event UFC on ESPN 7 as the promotion heads to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Go over to CageMinds.com. A lot going on. All the results from last weekend's events. You can find all the results for this week's upcoming events. Like I said, a great interview with Joe Torres, the complete interviews with Steve Mean Machine Garcia and Jody Escobar, not to mention a great piece I was able to put together. Don't have any of it to show you guys, unfortunately, but go to the website and even go to the YouTube page and you can see my visit with neuroscientist, neuroperformance combat sports coach, Dr. Roman Velasquez from El Paso. He's been up here in New Mexico, coming up to Albuquerque on the weekends to work with some top-level combat sports athletes, going over to Jackson Wink and working with Nicole DeSeni, Tevin Dice, Rob Gutierrez, not to mention Celine Haga, going over to FinHB to work with Tim and Brenda Means, going over to Latrell Yees, where I was able to catch up with him while he works with Andreas the Bullet Quintana and Caleb Ramirez, who is about to turn pro, who we've had on the show before. So every combat sports athlete, every athlete, let's be honest, is looking for that competitive advantage. This is a training system for your brain to, again, earn a competitive advantage, to process quicker, to be more accurate, to be more composed, to see things, to see clearer. The whole interview, plus some of the exercise that he puts the guys through, that's up on the website. Great time hanging out with Dr. Roman Velasquez. And when you see the photos, thanks Rob Gutierrez for those. Like I said, this weekend, boxing, MMA, tons of breaking news. Keep up with CageMinds.com as we keep up with all of it. And we look forward to next week, because next week, right here on ProView Networks, Reigning Thunder, up at Buffalo Thunder, Legacy Boxing Promotions. We haven't dove too deep. We will get deeper into it next week. But as I said, it's a huge card when you think about the unbeaten Angel Baby Aaron Perez looking to continue the destruction that we've seen he's doing to the entire state. You have Angelico Valencia versus Guillermo Alvarez kicking off the card. Jesus Xavier returns to the ring. We haven't seen that Perez boxer in quite a while, taking on Jasmine Hogue. Clinton Chavez will be in action. Then you also have that huge northern rivalry, Joe Gomez Martinez, Arturo Crispin, a total stylistic difference. That one is going to be a super amount of fun to watch. And Amy Salinas, the hottest prospect that we have on the women's side of boxing here in the 505, fighting Samantha Aguilar for that ABF super featherweight title. There's a lot going on in the world of combat sports. It's been a great summer here on the Cage Minds takeover of Red Menace TV. Go to the website, as I said, and be right here next week to tune in for some live boxing. It's been great talking to you guys this week. Support the local fighters.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.